there's a little hell.
What if fans said when they come up to you and they do the like meet and greets with you and they say like, do they mention a particular lyric? Do they mention a particular song? What is like one of the most inspiring things someone has ever told you at a meet and greet?
Thank you for being sober.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's a huge one in today's environment, today's industry. I think you see a lot of guys like we interviewed Corey Taylor from Slipknot a few weeks back, and you're talking about a guy who is totally open with the fact that he used to be all into that, and he's like no, and he's like I'm squatting, I'm lifting, I'm doing all these things to stay sober.
Yeah.
And I ask people, I'll ask you, I'll ask them, how is that influence or how does that impact the music? And for his answer, he said every part of it because it makes him clear.
Totally. It makes you clear. And then I guess you get more messages from your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Like lyric ideas will just pop into my head, or I don't know, like I really trust my intuition now, and it's right a lot of the time, and it blows my mind. I'm like, I think everybody has this. I just think that
with music and with everything in your life.
With everything, like, and it's not always on, it's not always on. Sometimes it's off. I think there's a reason, but I think everyone has it. I just think when you get fucked up a lot, it's the way I think of it is like you're an antenna, and when you put drugs and alcohol in your body, you bend your antenna, right? And you're not as clear, just like what Corey said. And like, there's a lot of artists that understand this and know this.
No, there's some that still drink, but they don't do it to the degree. Like, I'm not even saying they're doing drugs; they're just drinking.
Well, they might not have a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good for those people. I'm kind of jealous, but for me, here's what changed everything for me. Is a sponsor once said to me, I said, how do you know? How do you know you have a problem? Like, how do you know you're an alcoholic and that you should stay sober? And she goes, I can't safely predict the outcome of what will happen once I put a drink or a drug in my body. And I'm like, that's totally me.
Yeah.
I might go to jail.
Yeah.
Like I don't stop. I turn into the Tasmanian devil.
So you have an addictive personality.
Yeah, or the gene.
Yeah.
The gene of alcohol.
So then let's say if you have that addictive personality, how does that play into your music with that addiction?
I want to, look, again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I almost want to think that everything happens for a reason. And if I was, if I was an alcoholic and getting fucked up or a drug addict that fell into recovery, to talk about it in my music, there's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
Because there's people that need to hear it.
Yeah.
And now they're telling me that.
Even Monkey from Korn said that the other day.
Yeah.
We talked with him and I said, how is your music today impact, or what do you want that music to do for your fans? He goes, we want it to change positively as opposed to what we were stuck in the past, in the 90s and the 2000s. So to hear an artist like you who's open about the idea of sobriety is refreshing to hear. I mean, it's not that it's new to me, but it's refreshing to hear. You're the first one that I've ever talked with that has openly come out and said, this is a cool thing to do. It's not like a nerdy thing because I'm sober. I've been sober for many, many years, and not because of a program or anything. It's because it's a lifestyle choice. It goes back to like the beginning of the conversation. When you eat something and you just feel like crap and you just feel bloated, and then you can't do cool shit when you're fucked up.
No. Look, we're all learning, and this might sound crazy to some people, but this is what I think. This is what I personally believe. I think everything has a vibration. I think when you're sensitive and you're tapped into that, you can feel what works for you and what doesn't, and you can navigate through life that way. Like you ever meet someone and get a weird vibe from them, and you're like, oh, I don't like that person.
Yeah.
Well, something about them you're not vibing with, and then that's your gut telling you like,
yeah.
You're not being judgmental. Like if it's like they're giving you a strong vibe. I hung out with Natasha Bedingfield when she was pregnant.
Wow.
And this is the complete opposite. I just stood next to her and I got goosebumps, and I was like feeling all this love. Like I'm like, did someone slip something into my water?
Yeah.
And she's standing next to me and she looks at me and she's just so full of love. And she has this baby inside her, and I could feel it. I could totally feel it. And she was giving me the best vibes.
Right.
So I think that people should just pay more attention to their feelings. Why do you think we're constantly being distracted from our feelings?
Yeah. Absolutely.
By the media, by, whatever, everything.
Social
literally
media, everything, yeah.
Food, fucking sugar, caffeine, alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, the news constantly scaring you. There's a reason, because if we paid attention to our feelings, we would know more. We would be more like awake.
Would that be some advice that you could give to like a upcoming musician who was in your position, say, 7 years ago? Mm-hmm. Would that be advice that you would give them?
Yeah, but
what would you say
they're
to
not
them?
going to hear it till they're ready to hear it, and if they're ready to hear it, great. And I don't want to be preachy or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I can tell you my story, and like that seed my old sponsor gave me about I can't predict the outcome of what happens to me. That was a seed for me that blossomed into better sobriety.
Was that the best advice you've ever gotten, or best seed? I would say. What was the best advice?
There's been many of them. I think that that you can leave seeds, you can say things, but you can't make people do anything. They're on a journey, so they're gonna learn. But you can help wake people up for sure. You know. And you have to do it in a way that's not preachy. It's like I don't know. I'm like not fully awake. I like to think that I'm on a journey to find that. We want to know what the answer is.